what was your role at BC Cancer Agency?
Well, I came to BC Cancer Agency as a postdoctoral fellow in 1972.
72, okay.
By 1976, I got an appointment as a scientist, okay, and also appointment in university. In 1985, I actually formed a department. It's called Cancer Imaging. Consisted of 3 people, a secretary, an engineer, and myself.
Oh.
And the idea was to start developing these technologies of detecting cancer in very early stages, whether that be in lung or in cervix or in some other tissue sites. Before I was a radiation biologist, which is where people try to figure out how to do better radiation treatment of patients. Now this is at the end of the cancer, and I thought that it is better, at least my life, to prevent it rather than treat it.
Treat it.
Okay, and so that department is now very large. My role now is I am retired and I'm Professor Emeritus at BC Cancer Agency. I still conduct research. I'm now mostly involved in implementing what's been developed in routine clinical settings around the world.
Wow.
That's why I'm very involved also in India, which I think it's
requires this a lot. I think India requires this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's a lot of regions on this world where you need to, if you really want, first of all, I do believe that no woman, for example, should ever die of cervical cancer because it's too easy to detect and too easy to treat. But how do you do it so that everybody can afford? That is my drive today in this particular cancer.
Can you tell us about the people who work at BC Cancer Agency or Research Center?
Of course. First of all, we have physicians, right? These are people who treat patients. Many of these are also working on research and development of new technologies on one hand. Then you have scientists that they range all the ways from molecular biologists all the way to mathematicians and everything in between, including engineering science and whatnot. Like, for example, I'm a biophysicist, but although I do have, or had, then I'm Professor Emeritus, but I was a professor of physics as well as professor of pathology at the University of British Columbia. And most of these people that are in research must have a university appointment as well. So roughly, I would say there are about close to 100 independent scientists who get scientific grants and do research, and of course they're associated with a lot of students and postdoctoral fellows. So in all, as I mentioned, there's just in a research center, in Vancouver, there's about 500 people working in research. Of these there will be about 50 or 60 independent scientists, and the rest are technicians, students, and so forth.